Hey y'all, Dr. Crocker Pet Vet here. So, having been more and more on social media, I have a lot of parents reaching out to me, and the parents are asking, my kid wants to be a veterinarian. What do you suggest we do to help support them or help them see if this is something they really should go into? So, I love my job. I knew I wanted to be a veterinarian when I was 5 years old, and obviously have pursued it and been really happy for the past 10 years. But I do think there's things as a parent that my own parents did, and I've seen other people do that really can help set your kid up for success. So if your kid wants to be a veterinarian, the first question is why? Are they just like sweethearted, I love animals, I want to spend time with animals? Because if that's the reason, this may not be the profession for them. This profession is tough sometimes. It can be heartbreaking. It's tough because you're dealing with people also along with their pets, and sometimes you're doing stuff to animals that they don't necessarily want but they need. So thinking that you're just going to get to love and pet on animals and everything's always going to be happy and you're just going to heal them, sometimes it's a little bit of a shock what the reality is. So it needs to be a little bit more than I just love puppies and kitties so much and animals, because our job definitely embodies more than that. Now maybe they've seen somebody on TV or they've heard stories or they've read stories, and there is this fantasy world of you're a veterinarian, everyone loves and respects you, and things are always going to go your way. And unfortunately, that also is not the reality. So what do you do to help your kids understand if they really want to pursue this? And I think that the best thing to do is expose them to it. So if they're younger than high school age, I think that you take them to your veterinarian, you take them to the visits that you have. You see if there's any opportunities to volunteer with local adoption events, with the local shelter, just to go in and clean kennels and feed. There's a lot of things that they can do with you and under your supervision that will also get them experience with animals and with the care that's required for animals. And I think that that's important to realize, that it's not just seeing the animals occasionally and loving on them, it's taking care of them. And sometimes that's not always the fun job and it's not the glorious job. But if they still want to do it when they're being around animals and having to do kind of the gross stuff sometimes, I think that's very telling that they really do have a passion for it and a desire for it. Now, if they're older than high school age, there's a lot more opportunities. There's actually quite a few schools that have pre-vet technical type programs, and those programs will set you up with veterinarians who are local, who will allow you to come in and shadow and actually work part of your school day as a technician or as a shadow. And so it earns you hours towards a certificate you get at the end, and it also gets you experience and potentially references once you get out of school, which is always helpful. So look into your schools, see if they have any programs and offer anything like that, because it's a great opportunity. Now, if you already have a relationship with a veterinarian and you think they may be willing to let your kid come in and shadow, then by all means, you should take advantage of that. And it never hurts to ask. The worst they can say is no. But if your kid is going to shadow, a couple quick tips. Make sure they dress professional. No t-shirts, no flip-flops. Make sure you have long pants on. Make sure that they don't have their cell phone out all the time and they understand they need to put it away. Tell them to be engaged, to ask questions, to look around the whole clinic and experience as much of it as they can. I have a lot of students that come in and they're very excited at the beginning of the day, and then they go and watch a surgery and they realize quickly surgery is scary and they do not want to do surgery, which is okay, because you want them to realize at a young age what they do and don't like, either about the profession as a whole or parts of the profession. So get them into shadow. If they're interested in large animal medicine, a lot of equine veterinarians or large animal veterinarians will let you actually ride in the truck with them. You got to do a little dirty work. You got to help out a little bit, clean up, but seeing what they do in the field and having that opportunity to ask questions is definitely important. I had kids ride with me during summer and Christmas breaks pretty much the entire time I was an equine vet. It was actually extremely helpful, but it also allowed them to really get a sense of what I did day by day, and I think that helped kind of direct whether or not it was something they really wanted to do. You also can work, so get paid to experience something that you're interested in. Kennel technicians, you have to clean up, but in the times you're not cleaning up in the kennel or feeding dogs on the weekend, you're learning about treatments and you're learning about the dogs that are there, the different conditions they have, and you have access to a veterinarian and vet techs who have been in the industry for a long time, which can be invaluable as you're trying to figure out if this is a path that you want to go on. Now, let's say they've experienced it all, they've shadowed, they're still really interested and really into it. I think there's a couple really important things that you as parents can do as they get a little bit older. So the main one is to teach them to be self-reliant. Undergrad and vet school are very, very tough. You need to make good grades when you're in undergrad, and when you get into vet school, the hours are long, the days are long. It's a high pressure situation. So teaching your kid to be able to manage their lives along with studying is important. Let them cook for themselves, let them do laundry, let them do sports, but also make sure that they're studying. Don't study for them. Don't do the report for them, but help them to learn that they need to set their schedules. They need to try to manage their time well so that they can, when they get on in vet school, manage their time well also. And what this will really do is allow them to have better balance and hopefully wellness when they get into school. So this kind of brings us to the hard part of our profession, and that is that there's a very large debt load and there's a lot of mental health issues that you will find among veterinarians. And some of the percentages are higher than the general population. And the most staggering statistic is when it comes to suicide, vets are more likely to commit suicide than the general population. And it is something that, as a vet med community, we're aware of. We are trying to work on, we're trying to give them more tools. But I do think that trying to help your kids learn how to deal with stress, learn how to ask for help, learn how to make sure their mental health is in a good place before they get in these stressful, tough situations is really important. So talk to them, spend time with them, make sure they see the reality of what we do as veterinarians, and make sure it's something they really want to go into. And then offer them as much support and encouragement as you can. They're gonna have days where they question what they're doing. They're gonna have days which are really hard. And even when you become a veterinarian, you still need your parents to encourage you sometimes. But I do think it's a great profession. I love what I do. And if your child really truly wants to do it, I think you should encourage them 120%. If you have any questions, you can always message me or comment. I hope this video is a little helpful. If I missed anything, let me know. And you guys have a great night. Thanks.